made Justin Jefferson the league's highest paid receiver. In an appearance on the Rich Eisen show, Jefferson addressed whether he was surprised by Cousins' departure to Atlanta.
I always knew, Kirk, was going to do whatever he needs to do for his business-wise. And I just knew that, everything just wasn't, the way he wanted it to be here. I'm not mad at him at all for that. I'm grateful for what he has brought to me and, the things that we have accomplished together. But, at the end of the day, it's a business.
So, Sam Darnold, your guy. You love Sammy.
I do.
J.J. McCarthy. So, let's assume that Darnold is the QB1 to start the season. Maybe McCarthy plays at some point.
Yeah.
But whether or not you like Kirk Cousins is almost immaterial when you consider that all of Jefferson's success, Jordan Addison, a lot of T.J. Hawkinson's, comes from Kirk Cousins under center.
Yeah. By the way, I ran into Sam Darnold out east. Looks healthy, ready to go.
Okay.
Fired up in Minnesota. Yeah, I mean, very infrequently has Minnesota been a mess. I tend to think they're smartly owned, well coached. Even coaches like Mike Zimmer, who got let go, I thought were really good coaches. It shows you the value of quarterback in this league. Their over and under is like 6.
Right.
I could make an argument. Elite offensive talent. They have the best receiver in the game, the second best offensive tackle, a top 5 tight end, one of the ascending stars at running back, and the tall Sean McVay at coach.
Yeah, Kevin O'Connell.
I tell you, last year, everybody had the Rams as a rebuild at 5 or 6 wins, and they made the playoffs. If you told me there was a team in the NFL that you look up and they're like 8-4 through
Minnesota.
12, it's an offensive league.
True.
I love their coach, their left tackle, their running back. Their O-line's better, their tight end, their star receiver. They even have Jordan Addison at 2.
Really good young player, yep.
Yeah, and there's not a great defense in their division. Chicago's could be. But Green Bay and Detroit don't have great defenses.
Yeah.
If there's a team in the league that Vegas missed on the Rams last year. If there's a team they're missing on, it's Denver in the AFC, I think, is more than capable of winning 9 games, and it's Minnesota in the NFC.
See, the pushback would be Darnold hasn't really ever been that guy.
Yeah.
And the division is still really good.
But Kyle Shanahan and this head coach, 2 of the 4 or 5 smartest coaches in the league offensively, both really like Sam Darnold. It's a pretty good indication.
Everyone likes Sam Darnold until he has to play a full season and really show it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's your guy. If it's ever going to happen for Sam, it's going to be this year.
No, there'd be no excuses.
Yeah.
You can make arguments about the Jets and Adam Gase and Carolina's lack of weapons.
100%.
If Sam can't win games here, it's on Sam. There's no great defenses outside of perhaps Chicago in that division. So he'll get 6 divisional games. 4 of the games are against, at best, average defenses.
Okay, I like it. Let's go to Team USA basketball, Colin, where we had some breaking news ahead of tonight's matchup with Canada on FS1. Shams Charania reports that Kawhi Leonard is withdrawing from the Olympic roster.
What a shock.
And will be replaced. Multiple reports indicate that Celtics guard Derek White will replace him.
Oh, I love that.
On the roster.
Oh, I love that.
You like the Derek White ad?
I would have taken Derek White over him. I think Derek White's on a short list of the most underrated players in the league. I think Derek White's fantastic. Both ends of the floor. Willing teammate, great defender, can get buckets. Yeah, I mean, the Kawhi Leonard thing, I just do not understand this fascination. Well, I mean, you could be the best herdline news guy ever. If you're here only 2 out of 5 days a week, at some point, I'm over. Like, I need you to be available, my quarterback or my star basketball player.
That's part of the deal, being available.
Yeah.
He also said before, because this is an odd story, another odd story was when he said, losing Paul George to Philly, it doesn't really change my approach. I don't really understand what the Clippers are doing.
I
definitely don't understand what Kawhi Leonard's doing when he says yesterday, I'm looking forward to the Canada game. I'll be ready to go.
Yeah, and he's now withdrawing. Jordan with the news.
Well, that's the news.
And thanks for stopping by.
The Herd.
I'm back. It is great to have you in live in Los Angeles. It's The Herd. Wherever you may be and however you may be listening, thanks for making us part of your day. First of all, tip of the cap, thank you. Danny Parkins, Ashley Brewer filled in last couple of days. Totally appreciate that. Jordan Schultz filling in for J-Mac rest of the week. How are things?
My man, doing great. Not as good as Rhode Island, though.
Rhode Island was wonderful, but it is good to be back. And it got me thinking. I would have every day to myself. In the mornings, I'd go take the new dog, go out. And it got me thinking about why I love sports. And talking to a lot of people in Rhode Island. One of the things, I was listening to sports radio in Boston for a couple days. One of the things I love about sports, the pressure, the adult conversations. It's not too mean to talk about somebody's age. There's a lot of pressure, and you got to win now. I was thinking outside of Andy Reid, Sean McVay, Jim Harbaugh, and Matt LaFleur, 4 coaches in the entire sport. If any other coach had a bad season, they're in big trouble. Kyle Shanahan has a losing record without Christian McCaffrey. That roster goes 7-10. You don't think there's heat on Kyle Shanahan? What about John Harbaugh? They wanted to run him out of town 3 years ago. You think they finished 3rd or 4th in that division? There's not heat? Even the rookie coaches. You get off to a bad start by Thanksgiving. We got the wrong guy. You can even make the criticism in sports personal. Pete Carroll, though he has the energy of a 17-year-old after a bag of Skittles. He is in his 70s. That's an adult conversation. Not a lot of coaches got into their 70s and were at their best. Bill Belichick, 6 rings, even named a boat after it. He feels a bit like a dinosaur. You can have those conversations. Brian Daboll not only got Daniel Jones to the playoffs, he won a game with Daniel Jones. He won a game. He goes 6-11, he probably gets fired. And I think he's a great coach. That's what's great about sports. That's not the downside. 5 of the last 8 NBA coaches of the year got fired from the team they won the award. Expectations, adult conversations. Win now, you're paid a lot. Yet in the Democratic Party, it's considered ageist, harsh, mean to have discussions about Joe Biden's age, his mental acuity. I don't know. It feels like the president's a fairly important job. I read that people were caught off guard by his regression. You don't have iPhones? Grow up. Have a real conversation. People were having conversations and questioning it 4 years ago. But in politics, I'm uncomfortable. Not in sports. Not in sports. Dak Prescott. You make Patrick Mahomes money. Win more when it counts. I love Lamar Jackson. Another stinker in the playoffs. Time for real heat. Sean McDermott keeps winning his division. I'm sorry, Josh Allen's too good not to end up in Super Bowls. Those aren't the downsides to it. It's why I defended vigorously the Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark discussions. The girls could handle it. The women were fine. It was all the fragile sports media asking weird, dorky questions and being uncomfortable with it. The women were great. Caitlin's going to be fine. Angel Reese is crushing it. And you should push back on fragile sports media if they're outraged by things that are happening to everybody. I enjoy politics every 4 years, but the reason I love sports is accountability and adult conversations and debate at home, on a show, in a bar, real people talking about real things. Pressurized situations. Don't let sports become politics. Again, 5 of the last 8 NBA head coaches. Gonzo. We want more. Dak Prescott. Yes, you win 12 games a year, just none when it matters. So that's my takeaway. 17 days off. Sports has some politics in it. Let's never let it become politics. I like what it is now. And sometimes it's harsh and tough and almost mean and a little rude, and we debate, sometimes over a beer, and it's what I love about sports and what drives me crazy about politics. I'm sorry. For the last 4 years, I don't watch a lot of TikTok, but I either have singing goats or Joe Biden gaffes. It's okay to talk about it, really. The democracy thing, it's kind of important. The other thing that was notable to me